Proceeding back down Oxford Street in Chiltern. Welcome by two little dogs. Came across the street to another street. Yes. Building down there. Shop is just marked as an original shop of the 1870s. We come to the little stone bridge again. Out that way is where the other bridge is. It's running under in tunnel. Another house for sale by Diffie. It's with hole on the roofs of 12 Stanley Street, Wodonga. Number is 0602413555. And after hours 060246133. Diffie has the monopoly on things around here. It'd be interesting to know what all this construction is that's next door. Is it the reason the house is up for sale? Who knows? And that's the drain back down there. So on the wrong end of town for what I like to do. Keep going. The drain nearby, probably quite a problem. I just switched the wind on, so it might have reduced the amount of wind picked up. So the plane up there, we're going to put on Mulberry. That last house for sale is in Church Street. I'm going to wander up Green Street again to Oxford Street. Clearly it's not an old shop of the 1870s, or it might have been, but it's now the Masonic Hall. It's Reed Street down here. Only to come across this side here, saying I'm at the apex of Martin, High, and Park Street, which I thought was Reed Street. Who knows where I am. And now we come across this canal that I thought we'd reached before. Who knows where we are. We'll continue over that way. This is bringing us back to the main drag, Main Street. And over here, here's the little place we went to before. That bridge. That's Oxford Street up there. Can you hear that? That's a train in the distance going through. What might be? Daylight on its own? No. Goods train going up probably. There aren't any passenger trains left. Back in the main street now. This is the Bank of Australasia where just now a tea room and lunch in. Going backwards, are we? Well, I thought we were in a bit of trouble. Blackberry's not going back either. supermarket was originally Ovens Hardware, founded in 1868. Use continued since 1868. Floors of bank building, site for Crystal Fountain Hotel. Telegraph Hotel takes in both these buildings. This one's used as listed now. And this one here is Smith's Telegraph operation. It's been since 1858. 1859. Lanes of Chiltern. It's a nice rustic place. Exploring the lanes produces all sorts of things. We never used the low antique. I had an antique festival up here last weekend. Pop in there now. I'll go and see the afternoon. And Star Hotel to be licensed.
Okay. Well, I'll see you in about an hour.
It's going to take me that long, is it?
Oh, well, if you're interested, if you're interested, you are. Interested people take a lot longer, really.
Planted in 1867 from cotton Baxter Sherry variety. 1936 yielded a crop of 2.5 tonnes, including a bunch of 14 pounds. Girth at base is, whatever that is, 6 feet. It is 5 metres.
Little corners all over.
People serving sherry. Right.
That's one of the few surviving theatres of the Goldfields era.
The old Star.
Actually, the whole complex was built as 4 units: a hotel, theatre, billiard saloon, and stables.
Oh, right. Maxim's pipe of peace, maximum inhaler. Table's very similar to my table. I actually used that null projector to shoot film up there in the 1890s. 1920s. Shooting from up there at the back, over all those seats, down to here. Trumpet. Fiddle. All style back in. piece de resistance, moustache comes. Lip on the inside. Let's continue on now. Very nice old. Travellers jug samples. I didn't push it hard enough. Okay, Athena. Oh no, I'm just taking photos for my own use. That's all.
It wasn't going to make any difference anyway, so that's no rules here, so.
Good.
Rules like that, so. But this side was the library here from 1970, so what you see there is very much a Goldfields library setting, tables, chairs, the bookcases and the books. The books date from 1860. We have three Chiltern-based authors, Handel Richardon from Lakeview,
Yeah.
Mary Gaunt and Wilfred Busy. They're all Chiltern born, or use Chiltern as their destination.
Now let me have a look at this. I've got exactly the same picture of Betty at home. Somewhere.
Right. So
Oh, we nickname it Betty Papadopoulos. Married Phil the Greek. Any Greek name will do.
yes. Right. So they're built in 1866. This building, and is owned by the Shire of Indigo and run by a trust.
Right.
Over on the other, between the other two windows, you'll see some art there of Albert William Eustace with the Royal Gunleaf. There's a suite of six there.
Oh, those ones over there.
Yes, they're red boxed and they're white box. Red box is beautiful, the white box is pointed. He was born in England, and he came here in 1862 as a shepherd, and he taught himself to paint. And he lived here until 1907 when he died and was buried here. He was a poet as well, and he wrote poetry all right throughout his life. A lot of it about Chiltern and the district and his family, and about spiritualism that he was very much into, but that he wasn't the only one who was into spiritualism here.
No.
Gold was found here in 1858, and within 4 months we had 20,000 people, so that's the basis of Chiltern. And the gold started to run out in the First World War, and it was deep gold mining, so down to 1,000 feet, and there's some pieces of gold there too.
Did the Steiner movement ever take on up here?
No, not so much. Spiritualism right throughout. He was certainly into it. Dr. Rohner was into it. Henry Richardson's father was very heavily into spiritualism. One of the reasons why he came here. He was looking. He had to go back and practice because he ran out of money. The money had all gone, and he found he had to go back into practice. And he came up here to Chiltern, and Dr. Rohner was here, and Dr. Rohner was leaving, so he came and took over his practice. But they were both friends through spiritualism.
Well, what sort of spiritualism do you mean when you say spiritualism?
Well, they had club. No, I don't know if that's the right word. Organisations, and they had lots of meetings. Yes, right throughout the northeast and other places too. Yeah.
That's interesting. It's a nice town, this one.
Where do you come from?
I'm just in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
I've sort of been thinking of getting a place in the country, and one of my parameters for so doing is it must be available on the train.
Yes.
It must be a nice town available on the train.
Well, that's one thing we do.
And yours is the only one that actually fits those parameters between Melbourne and Albury. So you never know.
So walking distance too. And as well as that, I live just out of town and we do all my life. it's a good spot as far as a place, because you're within a half an hour of Wangaratta or for shopping and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You've got the clubs, so if you're into any of the clubs, and there's a lot of things happening in the clubs in New South Wales, of course, from Mulberry right through to
Right,
Wonga,
yes.
so you've
Yeah.
got that access. The waterways, plenty of waterways too. You've got the snowfields within an hour's drive.
Yep.
So you've got a lot of things for recreation and business too.
Yeah.
So within that area. Righto, have a look around. Interesting story there. This is the Second World War, 1943. Aeroplane crashed over on top of the cats.
You might be able to tell me something. When I was up at Bright last year, I noticed somebody driving around a truck called Lowen Builders. Do you know anything about the Lowens?
Lowen?
L-O-W-E-N? In this area?
No, not here anyway, not at Chiltern.
Because it's an old family name from my family. We don't know much about them, so I thought that seeing some Lowens sitting up there, they might have an influence right around here.
No, not here. Don't know. No, can't help.
It's this T.S. something.
Marshall.
Esquire.
Yes, that's him up there in the photograph. He was a teacher here and came here in 1870. Taught all the kids to swim in the lion's mine. A good sort of a town person. Right, Evan.
Very interesting. Okay, thank you. Early streetscapes. Stop there a bit. Street. Standing on a bridge of a creek, High Street and Crawford Street. Jack McEwen's house, birthplace, somewhere up there. Municipals. I wonder if they've been amalgamated recently. Very big offices. They probably have been. Chiltern Post Office. I realise it's a new office. More collies. Collies all over this place. Yes, collies. This is the birthplace of Sir John McEwen, Prime Minister for a week. So it's next door as well. Sir John's home when he was alive. I suspect where that Masonic Hall is. And the courthouse. Cheaper and round that one too. Okay, well, we're going to head back now to find the lake. This way. It's on the bank, that is. New South Wales Bank. Back of the bank. It's too late. Land to it. Almost made it. This place road. Federal Standard Office. Whatever. picture of Chiltern Martin Memorial Park. That's the lake over there, so you're wondering. One empty swimming pool. A couple of bridges. Somebody waving to me. One creek and bridge. I'm not standing that way, isn't it? That is quite a delightful looking house. Nice red leaves. Hear the church bells pealing in the distance as well. It's a nice house. Heading to the bridge because it is a really little muddy to cross. Don't look back to. Delightful house up there. Four big fireplaces to it as well. Look at the tennis courts. The curator's house. Now we've come around to the lake. We are at the lake. Chiltern. Delightful lake. Houses, beautiful trees. Beautiful access bridge. Excellent. Just gonna go back. 360 drive. This one. Should now continue. Back over yon bridge up to Will Street. And it's Maitland, the other end is Burton. And they're Burton Wills, both sides together. We'll see that shortly. Hear another train in the distance. No, it's a bit too far away to see. There it is. Big goods train. Over that bridge in a second. Around the lake. According to my guide, this one is Burroughs' residence, Chiltern flour mill owner, and the other one next door is Lakeview National Trust building and the childhood home of authoress Handel Richardon. This is Victoria Street here. Not Will Street as I thought, because Will's joins this street. Somewhere along Victoria Street there's a house that's going to be for sale soon. It's the council house. They have ducks down here. Bamboo. It's Chiltern Train Station. It's a little each building of it. Single toilets. The actual station is built very much the same as the one at Carlsborough, actually. Similar model. Now when we get around to have a proper look at it, we'll see that. This is the creek. Black Dog Creek or something? Something like that. The other bridge. And into the lake. Running the camera. Chiltern Oval is over there. Nice spot, isn't it? Chiltern. A nice spot. Back now. Through these gates. Just the extension of the road meant to be down there. Trucks and things coming to us. Oh, it's parking. Well, I don't know. Chiltern Station. It's not really single track there. So the other track runs on the other side. Loadings on the other side too, I think. Well, runs on the other side. This should have a rail to it as well, shouldn't it? Just when they stuff the trucks up there. Strange. But that is very similar to Carlsborough, that sort of building there. That building with the toilets there. Building there. This is the one, it's the home of childhood home of Henry Handel Richardon. Lakeview, home of Henry Handel Richardon, noted novelist, built circa 1870, restored 1967 to 1969, classified. Open 10 a.m. to 12 p.m, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m, weekend, school holidays. National Trust. In things. So we'll just have a quick look round. Oh yeah, if there's a tape that goes with it.
Do you know anything about it?
No.
You don't? Oh, well, let's listen to that first.
This house and this property is a memorial to the great Australian novelist, Henry Handel Richardon, a woman who as a little girl of 6 years spent a year of her life here. In itself, this is not particularly important. What is important is that it is this house which figures so prominently and, in fact, is immortalized in a book called Ultimate View. This is the third book of a trilogy called The Fortunes of Richard Marnie. For the purpose of writing, her father, Dr. Richardson, becomes Dr. Marnie. The work was published in 1929. A literary critic, Gould, in the London Observer wrote, "The book is a masterpiece, worthy to rank with the greatest and saddest masterpieces of our day." The Daily News said, "Not only a work of genius, but a work of genius assured and triumphant." Another critic, Ernest Newman, stated that Marnie moved him, as did certain passages of Beethoven's symphonies. In the United States, Ultimate View was chosen as the book of the month. It sold 80,000 copies in 1 month. Later, Ultimate View was translated into more than the European languages. Let us start at the beginning. This house was built in 1870 by a Chiltern draper named George Hancock. In the book he is referred to as Gretrix. Her father, Dr. Richardson, came to Chiltern, first staying at the Star Hotel, and then bringing his family to this house in 1876. Although playing a leading role in community affairs after his arrival, it was while here that her father's mental instability became apparent to his wife, and his health continued to decline. In ultimate view, many people see in this the sadness of decline that takes place in each of us as our years advance. Henry Handel Richardson was born at Blanche Terrace, East Melbourne, and was named Ethel Florence Lindsay Richardson. After her father's death at Detroit in 1879, her mother worked in the postal service and later was able to send Ethel to the Presbyterian Ladies' College in Melbourne. At the age of 17, with her mother and sister, she journeyed to Leipzig to study music. At Leipzig, she met John George Robinson, a Glasgow graduate in science, which faculty he abandoned for languages and literature. In 1895 they married, and in 1903, with her husband, she went to live in London, where he became Professor of German Languages and Literature at London University. Henry Handel Richardson's first novel was Morris Guest, and as a writer she used her maiden name of Richardson, while the word Henry was from her husband's adoption of this name for her from quite early in their married life. She returned to Australia in 1912 to visit places she earlier knew, to reinforce her remarkable insight into colonial society, which further strengthened her girlhood impressions, the scenes, and the character studies, which enabled her to portray these impressions with penetrating vividness when writing on the other side of the world. The masterpiece of her total writings was The Fortunes of Richard Marnie. This has been described as an imaginative recreation of her deepest experiences in Australia. She died at Hastings, England, in 1946. This home, Lakeview, is furnished in keeping with the descriptions in Ultima Thule, and the display room houses the famous Reginald Eves portrait of the authoress. The Lakeview brochure, available at the desk, gives much more information. Professor Leonie Kramer wrote the first section, and there are some excellent photographs included as well. If you would like this recording replayed, just ask the attendant. You may
Now tell me, I see she has a Ouija board in there.
Yeah,
Now over at the Star Theatre,
yeah,
no, not the, at the Athenaeum,
yeah.
I was told that there was some doctor who was here and involved in a lot of spiritualism.
Father.
Oh, that's the father of this girl.
Yeah,
Ah, right.
he went mad here.
He went mad here.
Started to go mad here.
Right.
He died a couple of years later. Yeah,
Oh,
very
well, that explains
involved
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he came here, was one reason why he came here.
Yeah.
Because there's a great spiritual thing here, and plus he thought he was going to make a lot of money here, I think, because the gold was,
Yeah.
children was really growing. He became a risk doctor.
Yeah.
It didn't work that way at all.
No. All right then.
You're interested in that sort of thing, eh?
Well, yeah, interested in some bits of it. Yeah.
Oh, the kitchen. Bill, you want the kitchen too?
Oh, yes. Let's go down and have a look at the kitchen. It's the kitchen. What a nice kitchen. You may be out here working away. Nice stove, just a huge stove actually. And the bath. Good bath. Toilets. Delightful place. And what's it doing on 120? How long has it been on 120? It is 120. Find out. What's the shutter speed? I hope it was alright. Might have been alright inside anyway. estate. Find out what 120 comes up as. So it is this house that is for sale. It's owned by the council. It's been occupied by the council engineer who's lost his job due to the amalgamations. He owns another place somewhere else, the old clock tower, and it will be sold. But the Handel Richardon house, don't know how much it's worth. I do say land though is worth about 40,000 in the town, so it's probably about 60 or 80,000. Probably buy it, I think, 100,000 perhaps. National Trust do have an interest in it, but they haven't classified it and they're not about to buy it. It does have some land there. The station is unoccupied at the moment. It did have some people in it, a woman and a whole lot of children until last week, and it could be available. It has been vandalised though, but it could be much better deal than Carlsborough, that's for sure. So I shall investigate that one. Hill Street now. You can wander up here. Bar there. A nice little house there, and the train line. Nice place for them to have. I like the Number 13, Will Street. Wedding party. Waiting for the train. Short enough. Taking photos after the wedding, that's what they do. This wonderful view of this beautiful field. House, and there's a storm coming in, I think, particularly up there. So we'll be off to the station soon. Sign, Burton Wills. House, isn't it? Okay, we're going to wander back up Will Street now, right to the station. I'm going right round as we did when we first arrived. This land is in Victoria Street, just down from the lake and from the Handel Richardon house and Will Street, so just near the station really. 563844, the real estate shop. New South Wales somewhere. Well, oh no, Wodonga. 497A Hume Street, Wodonga. It's a nice block. Now that's probably worth 30 or 40,000. Probably 30,000 from town. A few units on that, facing both ways. Excellent to go inside. Looking the other way, from the block, is across to the train line. The land has two frontages, one to Victoria Street and one down to Main Street, I think it is. There should be no problem putting 4 houses on. Back now, about to go across to the station. The noise must be from the highway beyond those hills. I'd say it is over there beyond there. Yeah, there's a car racing on it now. Train sitting over there about to come through, I think, but I'm not too sure. Well, pulled up, might have been there for ages, who knows. It is into the distance. We're going to the station now, we are. See what they mean when they say it's been vandalised, it's been burnt. I think the house has had its windows broken. The wedding party. Hard to know which side of the platform my train will come down on. It looks like it's waiting for it to pass. get going now. He's waiting to go. Well done, yeah. Coming up in a few moments, at 168.5 miles from Melbourne, is Chiltern, and on the left we'll be passing Chiltern State Park. Chiltern, these days an important wine town on the Hume Highway not far from the New South Wales border, Chiltern was first known as the township of Black Dog Creek, on the banks of which it stands. Overlander Joseph Horden apparently shot a black dingo here in the dried up creek bed when passing through with John Hepburn in 1836. The following year, Joseph Slack took up the Barnawatha Run, which included the present-day site of Chiltern, as well as most of the surrounding district. The next owner formed the Ulina Station on Black Dog Creek. It was transferred in 1856 to its third owner, who built the Hermitage, which still stands today. A survey of townships in 1840 led to Black Dog Township appearing on maps of the time. By 1851, the town had a hotel, stable, male fences and several cottages. It was given the name Chiltern around 1854, most likely after the Chiltern Hills in England. A man thought to have taken part in the Eureka Stockade Rebellion, John Connors, discovered gold here in 1858 while hiding out in the district. His claim was later challenged unsuccessfully, and Connors went on to form the Prospecting Association with the idea of finding new gold-bearing leads. Chiltern gold was too deep for it to be worked successfully by individual miners or small syndicates. This did not deter small investors who formed companies to finance their reef mine ventures. A few people were lucky enough to do well, but most never saw their money again. When reef mining finally ceased, a former mine director, Dr. Charles Harkin, formed the Chiltern Vineyard Company in an attempt to find work for those displaced by mine closures. He first planted vines in 1910 at the southern end of the town. Buildings of note in Chiltern are the 1866 former Star Hotel, which has a grapevine planted in 1867 with a 6-foot circumference trunk, reputedly one of the largest in the world in its courtyard. The Star Theatre, one of the few remaining examples of an 1860s gold rush theatre, and Lakeview 1870, the house immortalised by the novelist Handel Richardon. She described the house in great detail in Ultima Thule, giving it the name Baramboogie. Lakeview has been fully restored by the National Trust and is a fine example of the early brick buildings of northeastern Victoria. The Federal Standard Building, built about 1860, was the first printing office in this part of the state. It is also remembered for its string of strong-minded editors like George Mott and George Anderson, who helped shape residents' attitudes on local government in the district. Printing operations ceased in 1971, and the printing equipment in the refurbished building has been restored by enthusiasts. The Athenaeum and Library in Connors Street is now a museum containing items of local interest. The building is painted in the original colours, with light blue walls and brown detailing. The 1870 Chiltern Railway Station was the model for many stations built in other parts of Victoria. It is noted for its brickwork and cast iron drinking fountains. The town's old world atmosphere qualified it as the location for a Walt Disney film, Ride a Wild Pony, in 1974. Its population is 935. Chiltern State Park, which we can see at the moment. This park is formed by 2 blocks of land separated by the Hume Highway. A 13-mile scenic drive, the Chiltern Historic Drive, takes in the section of bushland to the north of Chiltern. A pamphlet showing features of the drive can be picked up from a box at the beginning of the drive. Further along the Chiltern to Rutherglen Road is the Donkey Hill turn-off. Still further along the road is the Pioneer Cemetery and the vividly coloured earth of Magenta Mine. Around the mine landscape are giant red mullock heaps from which black iron bark trees grow. The drive finishes at the State Battery near Chiltern. Picnic spots are found along the way. Fine stands of native trees such as red stingy bark, grey box, red iron bark and Blakey's red gum are in the park, and the spring wildflowers are a byword among local people. Rare birds seen here include the turquoise parrot, regent honeyeater, and the peregrine falcon. Well, I don't know if the stone roses are from the Chiltern area of England, but they certainly know a lot about Fool's Gold for 9 minutes and 43 seconds on the long version. It'll be followed by Cherokee by Stephen Stills, because Barnawartha is the most Indian sounding place I've come across so far. And if there's any room, we'll have Sunday Sherry by the Arthur G. Whiz Band.
Gardening Club. For a living gift or something from their range of beautiful giftware, terracotta and pots, see Country Glen Nursery. Get knowledge, advice and quality from Henry and the staff at Country Glen Nursery, your Plants Plus Nursery, Tone Road, Wangaratta, next to the ambulance station.
Folk art, textiles, dried flowers, LED lighting, even herbed oils and vinegars, all ready for you at High Country Art and Craft, where quality handmade is the name of the game. High Country Art and Craft open 7 days on the Kiwa Valley Highway to Wonga South, next to Winter Haven Ski Shop.
Want to succeed in life? Get places? Yeah, I hear you. What about the cash? How's $10,000 sound? Pretty good? Then think Operation Livewire. If you're aged between 18 and 25, ooze with enthusiasm and have a dream business that wants to grow, register today. 03 666 8300. You'll be given advice on how to develop your dream business into concrete plans and have the chance to win $10,000 to get it off the ground. But hurry, entries close June 5. Operation Livewire, turning dreams to reality. Thanks to Shell Australia, Rotary and Small Business Australia. The forecast for the months ahead has never been better at your local Metalland store. Corowa Metalland, STY Metalland Wangaratta and Tubemakers Metalland Albury with great savings on the biggest range of quality steel products. Plus Metalland know-how and experience that's backed by Tubemakers of Australia. Call in and check out the savings on pipe, RHS, long-lasting Duragal and Gal Tube Plus finishes, all at great Metalland prices. If it's made of metal, you'll make it at STY Metalland, Gibson Street Wangaratta, Corowa Metalland in Bow Street and Tubemakers Metalland, Kiowa Street Albury.
It is 8 to 5 now at 3&E as we continue with our better music mix. This was Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling.
matter of fact, at the drop of a hat, your mother's surprise.
I can wait another day until I come.
It's only one 5'3" line all the way up to Chiltern. It's accompanied by a 4'10" line.